Hello everyone. Today I'm going to take this old bar stool of mine. So I used to use it at the breakfast bar, had it for over a decade. I'm going to move it out to the garage so I can use it in the garage when I'm working out there. But I'm going to upcycle it. I'm going to try and make it look vintage industrial somehow. So I want it to really look really, knocked around, sort of dirty, but still be clean at the same time. And I want it to have a bit of a red and dark grey look on the legs only, not the top. So yeah, you can see I'm going to do the legs there. There's some imperfections, but anyway, we'll see how we go. So first things first, over time grime and grease and dirt builds up on your furniture, so probably best to give it a wipe down with some mineral terps, and that gets rid of the grease, especially that mineral turpentine, and just rub it liberally all over, nice and wet. And once you've done that, again, just get a dry rag as well and just dry it off. That should get all the grease and grime off. Ready to sand. So now that's done, we're going to give it a nice sand back. Usually use a 180 grit just to make it nice and smooth, also to get just some excess dirt and imperfections off the existing clear coat. Again, I'm only doing the legs and not the actual seat itself, the top there. Yeah, so just go around to, take your time. There's no rush, and yeah, just make sure it's nice and smooth and ready. It keys it up ready for the paint to stick to the existing clear coat that's already on it. So now that's done, make sure you clean all the dust off the legs, and now we're going to just put some masking tape around the bottom there, so when we paint, you don't get it on the bottom there, underneath of the seat. It stays nice and clean. So here we go, putting the masking tape around. Again, take your time, make sure you do a good job. Like I said, you don't want paint splashing on the underneath of the seat there. It's got a nice smooth clear coat on it. So yeah, just take your blade and just cut any straggly bits off. You don't want to be painting over the top of masking tape to find out later that peel it off. So there's the first leg there, and you have to do that to all 4 legs, obviously. So like I said, I wanted to have some red bleed through some darker colour, darker grey. So this colour, we'll do the red first. And this colour is called Red Alert. It's a Dulux colour. Obviously that's only a sample pot, you don't need much at all. And because my paintbrush is a little bit big to stick in the pot, I just pour some paint into the lid. So I'm able to dip my paintbrush in there. Now with this coat, you can just sort of slap it on anywhere. It doesn't matter where you put it, just pretty random really. You don't have to give it a full coverage, because I do want to have some of the natural timber show through and not just the red after I put the darker colour coat on over the top and sand it back. So I do want to have some red show through, but I do want to have some of the natural timber show through as well in a bit of a sand through, because I'm going for that rustic industrial look. So now that coat's done and that's dry, give it a couple of hours to dry, and we're going to put the top coat on now, and it's quite dark grey, almost black even, and this colour is called double base, and that's also a Dulux colour. Again, I'll just pour it into the lid so I can get my paintbrush in there. Now with this coat, you want a full coverage, so you want you basically want to cover up the red and the timber as well, so you don't want any bits missed. You want a full coverage over the whole thing, obviously not the top but the legs, and yeah, so this will probably take a little bit more time, and again, take your time, don't rush it. And you'll have to let it dry overnight and finish it off the next day. Okay, so I've let that dry overnight. It's now the next day. So now we're going to attempt to sand through this dark colour and back to the red colour, and also have some natural timber show through as well, so I can get that industrial rustic vintage look. Yeah, just sometimes your sandpaper might be a bit too coarse. A good way around that is to just rub the face of the sandpaper together, and that makes it smoother. As you can see there, I'm just rubbing the sandpaper together just to make it smoother there, so I'm not taking big chunks of paint off with a coarse grit sandpaper. And then when I sand it back, it's not taking as much off, especially the underneath the red. I still want the red to remain in places so it shows through. Okay, so there we have it. As you can see, some of the red is showing through there in the parts, pretty random, and also some of the natural timber as well. Don't forget to remove the masking tape from underneath. But there you have it. I'm pretty happy with that. Saves throwing the stool away. I can now use it in my garage, and yeah, it looks the part, I think. Thanks for watching.